What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Trey the Trader here, and it is time for another Sunday market breakdown. Let's get right into it. So, what we're going to start off with is the US dollar Japanese yen. So, as you guys know, I typically trade the US dollar Japanese yen, the US 30, and also NAS 100. So, let's go ahead and jump right into US dollar Japanese yen. So, the first thing you want to do is you want to start from the highest time frame. Okay, so let's start from the monthly. We're already there. And you want to just kind of look at the market and see what's been going on, right? So we can already tell off bat, right? Since it looks like January of 2021, this has been in a straight bullish trend, just moving straight to the upside, right? Taking this market to new highs. So let's go ahead and mark off that area down here so that we just know right off the bat price would have to come all the way down here to change our overall long-term sentiment on this trend, right? But this, again, with a grain of salt, this is on the monthly time frame. We're not long-term traders right now. We're just breaking it down from the monthly to get a clearer picture on what's happening on the intraday time frames, because we're going to make quick profits and get out. But we also want to understand just where we are in the market. So jumping right into it, you see price has looked to found an area of support here, okay, after retracing from this high up here, okay. So let's go ahead and drop down to the weekly. Again, on the weekly, you can see that it was a lot of bearish momentum pulling the market back from that long bullish push, right? So it's pulling back or correcting from that long bullish push, and it found an area of support right here at this level around the 127,500, right where it previously had found support at. So let me go ahead and mark this area off here, and I can pull it over and bam, there we go. So that's an area of support to watch out for. It was tested once, twice, and respected. So if this market wants to continue bearish on the lower time frames, we could expect this to be a potential take profit area. So that said, on this weekly, this area here would be a lower high area from the overall bearish push that it's making, right? And we can also mark off an area up here where it's previously tested. Boom, just like that. All right. So we got some key areas of support and resistance here. Let's go ahead and break down to the daily. So we're just building our overall case, guys. All right. Where is my drawings? Let me go back here. Make sure I can see it on the daily. Cool. There we go. All right, let's drop down to the daily. And as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, this has been, again, clear downtrend, right? Let's actually draw a trend line. Well, before we get to trend lines, right, let's go in order. So now that we're on the daily, what I like to do is once you break down from the monthly to the weekly and you get a clearer picture of what's going on, I like to check anywhere between the 1 hour to the daily. So the 1 hour, the 4 hour, or the daily, and sometimes even the 2 hour, to kind of see what makes the most sense, what's giving us the clearest picture without all the noise in the market, right? So let's go ahead and toggle between the daily, the 4 hour. Okay, I like the 4 hour. The 4 hour looks really clean. Let's check the 2. 2 is not bad. I still like the 4 better. And then obviously the 1 is going to be a lot more noise. Yep. So let's take it to the 4 hour. Okay, so on the 4 hour, structure is a lot clearer here. So the first thing you want to do after breaking down from the monthly and the weekly and determining what's going on in the market is determine structure on the time frame that looks the clearest to you. Okay, so we all know structure, right? Uptrend is higher highs, higher lows. Downtrend is higher, lower lows and lower highs. So that said, let's go ahead and draw this thing out. Okay, so let's go ahead and draw out this structure, right? So you see we had uptrending structure previously, right? Higher highs and higher lows. And then what happened here was price created a lower high before breaking below, right, these previous lows, shifting the overall market from an uptrend to a downtrend. And we had a lower high, right, retested this low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. All right. So from this area of support that it found and we currently have marked up, what can we expect, right? We can either expect a lower high, right? Some sort of retest to a previously broken support area. So I'd say right around here is about where I could expect it to come if it were to retrace fully, or we can expect a continuation to the downside. Either or, we want to prepare for both, right? Both scenarios. And then potentially a lower low, right? Retesting these previous lows over here. All right. So that gives us a clear indication that this market is heading in a downtrending direction. All right. We want to trade with the trend, not against it. So that said, now that we have our structure taken care of, we want to then look at support resistance areas or trend lines. Okay. So right off bat, I see a couple of trend lines right here. All right. From here to here. Actually, that's a little steep. Let's see. Okay, that's a decent one right there. So one touch, 1, 2, third touch and respect. Okay, you can draw another one from here to here. All right, just to get a, actually, I don't like the way that looks. Okay, let's just keep the one for now, right? We can clearly see where it broke the trend line on the upside, right? Boom, right there. So not only did it break these support levels, but it also broke the trend line. Okay. So let me go ahead and clear this up so you guys can see it better. All right. So that said, where is this market currently? We currently just made a lower low area, right? So once you determine structure, you figure out where you are in the market. We are at the last relative low. We're at the lower low right now. We have our trend line, right? This is the downtrend. So let's go ahead and pull our fibs, right? The fib is a retracement tool to just measure, right, the level of retracement based on the overall push of the market. So this was a bearish push right here, right? From high to the low. And now we're just measuring the pullback. So right now, from this last low, the market hasn't pulled back to the 38.2 just yet, right? So we can get a pullback anywhere from the 38.2. You see that already passed the 23.6. You can go to the 50%, 61.8, 78.6, 88.6, 100% before breaking past this and invalidating, right, this trend. It would have to break past the 100% to invalidate this trend. So the market can literally do, it can come up here, it can come up here, it can come all the way up here. If it breaks past this 100%, it invalidates the trend, and we would potentially be looking for the market to transition to an uptrend, right? Okay, so we already determined that what we're expecting is it to create a lower high somewhere, right? It could retest here, it could retest all the way at 100%, right? Before coming back down and continuing the trend. All right. I don't know what this is. Let's get that out of here. Okay. So that said, as I mentioned, guys, when we were on the higher time frame, this low, right, that we marked off, this key area of support that we marked off was a potential take profit point. And if you look at our fibs, right, where is the final take profit landing? Right around this area, right around this low. So that's one confluence that we could actually take into account when trading this. All right, that would give me more confidence to take this to that level of support as a final take profit level. So guys, for this week, I am expecting the US dollar, Japanese yen. I'm expecting the US dollar to gain a little strength compared to the Japanese yen to give us this pullback to create a lower high area somewhere around here before continuing the downtrend, right? That's essentially what I'm expecting. So let me pull this up so you guys can see it a little bit better. All right, that's what I'm expecting on this pair this week. So as I said, it could just continue down. It could give us the retracement in the lower high that we're looking for, or it could even potentially retrace higher and break past the previous high. We just have to react to the market, not predict the market, right? That's the biggest thing. You want to react, not predict. As long as you know how to react properly, you should be fine. The market is going to tell you exactly what it wants to do. All right. So let's go ahead and move on to US 30. All right. So let's go ahead and jump on our monthly time frame. And we can see, again, this was in a pretty heavy bullish trend for a while. Gave us a pullback, and it now looks to have created a lower high on the monthly time frame, right? Now, because this is such a huge time frame, you can mark off the previous low and the previous high, but price is so far away from it right now, it doesn't really make too much sense for you to be looking out for these levels, right? So I'll just mark them off as the last relative low and high, right? Let's go ahead and jump down to the weekly, and you can see price recently broke this area of support and this area of support here, giving us indication that this is a bearish trend. So let's go ahead and mark this area off here. Boom. And it looks like it gave us a retest too with this wick. So we're on the weekly. So on the lower time frame, these are probably actual candlesticks retesting this area. All right. So we are getting more of a bearish sentiment as we break down. So let's go to the daily and see what structure looks like here. Okay, not bad. It's pretty clean. Let's look at the 4 hour. Okay, a little more choppy. Not bad. Okay, 2 hour. Definitely more choppy. 1 hour. Yeah. Okay, so I'm actually interested in using the daily in this instance, right? So that being said, because we are on the daily, the overall and ultimate moves that I'm going to be projecting for potential take profit areas on this will take longer to actually happen. So I will need to utilize my technical analysis even more so to break down and find intraday moves on this to make profit on a daily basis. All right. So that said, let's go ahead and break this down on the daily. So as you can see, it recently broke this area of support, right? Giving us indication that this is a downtrending market. Okay. Boom. Let's go make this red. So this is a broken area right here, right? Broke this area and it looks to have retested this area. Okay. So now that we have our, let's actually draw out market structure here. Okay, so it looks like previously, boom, boom, right? We have uptrending structure, right? Then it broke that uptrending structure, and now it looks to have potentially given us a lower high in this area. So we could potentially be expecting it to create lower lows, right? That would be the potential projection based off of just overall structure. However, again, we're not trying to predict, we're just trying to react, but we want to know that we want to know what we're looking for, so we can react properly and prepare ourselves, right? So that said, let's go ahead and draw our fibs out, right, from this previous high to the last relative low. Since we're in a downtrend, we already hit the 50% mark, and it looks to have given us a lower time frame higher low at this area. So I wanna dig into that a little bit. Let's go ahead and highlight this area here. All right. So it looks like it could be retracing higher than this 50%, right? It could be either, well, actually, there's a couple of things it could be doing, right? It could be coming back to this 50% to give us another retest of this area. All right. Let's make this, let's call this a daily. This is actually a daily exhaustion zone. And for you guys that have already taken my old course, you know what exhaustion zones are. So exhaustion zones are just areas where there is bullish or bearish exhaustion based off of these candlestick wicks, right? So this is a daily exhaustion zone. So the market could be coming back up to this zone to retest this area and potentially give us some sort of candlestick pattern before continuing down. It could even be breaking up above this area to give us a more steeper retracement from the overall bearish push, right? So that's something we'll just have to wait and see. So let's actually break this area down because this looks like a higher low area on, let's say the 2 hour. Yeah, so if you see on the 2 hour here, from this low to this high, right? This is actually a higher low area and it looks to be breaking out of it. So let's see. Right, the market came up from this low to this high, right? Gave us a pullback, retracement, and it looks to be, right? It broke out of this area here. Okay, so let me delete this. Okay, so if I draw a fib from this 2 hour low to the 2 hour high, right before the pullback starts, you see it came down right to the 61.8% fib level. Okay, and then on that level, we got some sort of variation here, this bullish variation transitioning the market, right? Shifting momentum. Okay, let's color this. Let's make it white. And let's break this down to the 15-minute. So as you can see on the 15-minute here, right, we have counter trend structure breaking, right? It's uptrending, this downtrending structure to an uptrend, right? Boom, boom, boom. Whoops, I don't know what I did there. Anyway, you guys get the point. So this market transitioned in the lower time frame, right? Broke past these highs, broke past these levels here, created a higher low, and broke past and gave us a new higher high area. So this market transitioned on the lower time frame, right, after creating this higher low area based off this 2 hour time frame, and even the 4 hour time frame. You can use the 4 hour, it's a little cleaner. Gave us a 61.8 retracement, created a higher low from this last relative low, and it looks to be heading up, right? So based off of this 4 hour structure and even the daily structure, the daily we're overall in a downtrend. The 4 hour looks to be just transitioning to an uptrend, right? Giving us that overall pullback from the daily. All right, I don't want to confuse you guys. So let me try to keep it real simple. I'm gonna go back to the 4 hour. So as far as intraday moves, and let me move this daily fib out the way. As far as intraday moves, I am looking for bullish momentum to continue in this market. Well, I would want to really pay attention to see what happens here at this level of resistance. It's a strong level of resistance that's been tested once, twice, broke through, came back up, tested again, right? We got a lot of consolidation in this area before pulling it back down. So when the market approaches this area again, we could see some wick rejections and some exhaustion in this area. So I'll be watching it very closely to see how it reacts in this area, and that will determine the direction that I will be taking this market, probably for the remainder of the week. So yeah, just watch out for that. I'll be probably announcing some of the trades that I take when it does approach this area, or what I'm looking for at least. All right, let's go ahead and move on to NAS 100. We're on the monthly time frame. We're gonna go through the same process and mark up our key areas, right? So as you can see, it found a level of support down here, and it looks to be have been ranging or consolidating in this area. It's also a previous area of support over here that it respected. Let's go ahead and mark this off. Cool. And then we have a previous high here that it looks to be approaching as well. So let's mark this off as well. All right. And I'm not marking the actual high. I'm marking this area here that tested both of these candles. It's touching both wicks, right? So it's approaching both of these. It's approaching that level right now. Let's break down to the weekly. Okay, we can see the weekly has been in what it looks to be downtrending structure. All right, but we recently got some sort of break of this level of resistance, right, to create a higher high area. And then we have created a higher low area. So this gives me an indication this market is transitioning, at least on the weekly, right? And it could be approaching previous highs. So I'm going to move this actually up here now that we have more visibility on the weekly. So it could be approaching this high up here, all right? And I actually want to draw my fibs from this low to this high right here. And as you can see, right, we got a 38.2 retracement, all right? First take profit would have been at the 0%, take profit 2 at the negative 27%. And as you can see, it lines up with the previous high, which gives us confluence and confidence in the direction of this market. And then take profit 3 at the negative 61.8%. All right, so this is the weekly. I actually want to break down because this is going to take a while for this move to complete. So I want to be able to capitalize on more intraday moves, right? So let's go ahead and go down to the daily. So on the daily, it corresponds to the weekly, which is also in an uptrending motion right now, okay? So the daily actually transitioned what it looks like from this level here, right, of support that it hit, and is giving us uptrending structure. So let's see which chart structure looks the best on. Okay, 2 hour doesn't look too shabby. The 1 hour actually looks really good, besides this little area here. Okay, yeah, this actually looks really good. I'll keep the 1 hour. So before I break down on the 1 hour, let me just acknowledge what happened here in this area here. All right, because it's a little choppy on the lower time frames. And as you can see, the daily looked to have been in downtrending structure, right? So let me go ahead and draw this out. We have our high, right? Low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Retested this high, right? Higher low, break to a new high, right? It created levels of support right here, retesting these areas that it previously broke, right? Retested this high area, again, retesting this area, again, retesting this high before coming back down and retesting the lows. Okay, so this area was pretty confusing and as far as which direction the market was actually heading. But overall, we got the break of overall structure, right? The market gave us new highs, came down and did not break the previous low, right? So since it didn't break the previous low, it retested this low area once again, right? We drew this low on this area of support off the weekly time frame. So it's tested it multiple times, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And again, with some consolidation for testing it the seventh time. And then we got to pull back up above, right, with some bullish momentum entering the market, giving us a new higher high, right? And then from that, we have what? a higher low, and it looks like the market is coming back up again to retest these highs or break past it. So that's the thing that we have to figure out and react accordingly. So you guys can clearly see now that we've drawn structure which direction this market is headed. So that being said, we know what we're looking for. All right, so let's go ahead and see if we can draw some trend lines here. Boom, boom. So that's 1 2 touch, a 2 touch trend line right there. Okay. For now, that should be good enough. We need more data to determine whether or not this trend line is valid or if we need to make adjustments. So that said, let's go ahead and break back down to the 1 hour, right? Start tracking this trend from here, right? From the trend line touch, you see that we have low to the high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Retested these highs, but closed above the previous close. And then we have some higher lows being retested, higher low, then retested that higher low, right? So what we could be expecting is another higher high for this trend to continue, all right? That's what I would be expecting. And based on the bigger time frame, I'd be expecting this trend to continue to at least test this previous high up here around the 137.22.3 to, yeah, in this area here, I'd say the 136 to 137 price range is where I would be expecting this to come to. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, that pretty much does it for my market breakdown for today. I will be paying attention to these 3 pairs that I broke down and plotting some trades and trying to find some setups for the week for some intraday trades.